I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting today to order. All members are present finally, so we can establish quorum. I apologize for my past couple absences. We have a few cases on the agenda today, so anyone who is planning on speaking, I do need to administer an oath before we proceed. You can sit down. All you got to do is say "I do" after I ask this question. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth to this commission?
I do.
All right, thank you. When you do come up to speak about any of these items or cases, if you just state your name and it doesn't have to be a street address, just street you live in City of Athens would be fine. The first case is number 1103. It's Kevin Klein's Hickory Street Plan Unit Development. I believe he's here for the final plan approval by the Planning Commission, so we can make the recommendation to City Council. Mr. Loeb, did you want to provide just a brief summary, or Kevin Klein, you're permitted to do so as well?
Sure. We do provided updated plans to the planning commissioners. Those were provided this morning by Mr. Klein. The updated plans are in response specifically to this memo from Public Works that I also contributed. The memo from Public Works was issued by Mr. Stone last week, and the updated plans were finalized, I think, yesterday in response to all of Andy's issues or any outstanding things. So to the best of my knowledge, all of those issues should have been resolved. I'm not 100% sure, though. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet this morning. In relation to the site plans, I did not see any changes to the prints, the buildings, usage. Any of that should be consistent with what we had in our public hearing back in April. And as you can see in Andy's report, he had several things that were already crossed off that had been addressed.
Okay.
In discussions with Mr. Klein, and then the rest should have just been finalized through this updated site plan.
We could go through the items that are outstanding that we could assume are being taken care of in this last plan. Mm-hmm. It seems like that would go pretty quickly. Streets, the issue that was still outstanding was show curb cut details, including radii and final drawing. I don't see that, but at the same time, it sounds like they're all existing curb cuts, so
Right, they are.
I don't know if he was more meaning if it was a new curb cut, because one would assume those were approved at one point in time by the City of Athens. It's just whether standards have changed for the use.
So I understand the terminology of that as well. I mean, there's really not any curbs on that street, but there are the three existing driveway curb cuts. So that's what we're calling a curb
Opening
cut.
curb.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they were residential use at that time,
Right.
so I
And they
would assume
be
that's
used the
fine.
same. Right. And they are noted on the new plan
Yeah.
revisions that were provided.
I see that. So that probably the change is that it says existing curb cut, whereas before it wasn't noted, I would imagine, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I see that it says existing curb cut, whereas before I imagine it just wasn't.
There wasn't any
There was
note.
no note.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
identified at all in the previous plan.
So I would be satisfied with that one. Let's see if the other commissioners are fine. We'll just go in order. Storm drainage. The storm drainage plan may not be feasible as shown. Field locate storm, sewer, and revised plans if necessary. I assume the site utility plan is going to show our storm. Looks like there's one.
One of the things we did since the last meeting, and when I met with Andy Stone back in May, was we contacted OOPS to identify where all the utilities are and pinpointed those on the drawings, as well as I went back to the Public Works office and got more detail on sanitary and storm, and they've been sketched out there and identified, as well as the elevations.
Okay. Yeah, I see one inlet, I guess, is all.
Storm is labeled just as S.
Yeah.
At the street level, but I see also he's got internal ones, if I'm looking at
Oh,
this.
I see him, yeah, at the
Yeah.
downspout.
So he's got one behind the house where it goes uphill, by each building, it looks like.
Yeah.
You see the sanitary cleanout.
Yeah, it looks like all downspouts are connected to the storm.
Yes, they are.
And gas lines are in place. One dumpster.
Elevations look good for all of them, looks to me.
8-inch.
6-inch.
Yeah. Manhole is shown for the sanitary. Sewer line is 8 inches, so it met their 6-inch minimum. Again, utilities were located.
One thing we did, there was a request to do the meter pit, and Andy and I agreed that rather than doing a pit, they're going to be, as the sketch shows, in the basement of that one unit right there where the tap comes in. So
Okay.
they'll be protected inside with
Right.
man door access for a meter reader, but I know you use electronic reading device as well on the outside.
Right.
But they would be accessible right there and protected.
Okay.
So rather than just being a pit in the ground, they're going to be in that basement.
One thing I'm not seeing is the topo survey.
What was that?
Was the topographical survey was requested after the utilities were located. I don't know why, Andy.
It does
I
have
guess he's
elevations
maybe
on there, though.
That's what I would guess. He's just trying to make
Yeah.
sure the inverts are fine.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'd be satisfied with that. So
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's pretty much downhill from there. It's going to flow.
that's true.
And if I remember, there was discussion, the water line has to be upgraded, and we're doing some of it, the city's doing some of it, you're doing some
That has
of it.
been agreed upon by Public Works, Andy and I, and
Okay.
yes.
And there was a discussion of a hydrant, or was that necessary? I forget what.
Yes, there is a hydrant
Right at the
somewhere
corner.
within. See, the thing of it is, that's one of the portions of, I think it's W4, where that's being, I think that's the one. But Andy has agreed to actually draw the plans. Right, no, that's W2, where those plans are being drawn by him.
Okay.
So,
For
and
EPA.
in our discussion, it was, the city's going to be doing the work. He and I both agreed that the city engineer himself would be best fit to design that and know what they're going to be putting in. So that was what we agreed upon, and is in this letter. So that would be left for him to determine where that hydrant will be in his sketch.
Okay.
And before any of that's done, I'm sure I do have to write my check.
And it looks like one dumpster will service everything in terms of the solid waste?
Mhm.
Okay, and that's the one on the street there at the lower level?
Yeah, it's the one in that area there will be screened off, right?
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns?
I don't think so.
Anyone else? John or Paul? You guys?
No, just a reminder that this is a planned unit development, so the final approval comes from council. The planning commission thinks it's ready to be forwarded to council. You can do that now. If you're not prepared for that, we can address it in a meeting in the second meeting in August.
Now, if I remember, they do require a public hearing for council, too?
Council does require a public hearing, yeah.
Okay, so therefore, and they're not meeting in August,
Right.
so it'll take, even if they started one up at this point, it'd be 1st of September or something, or first week in September.
Exactly. And we did have a public hearing for this
Yeah.
project in early April, I believe.
I think so, too. Okay.
And he will go to the shade tree in the month of August as well. He opted not to go last Thursday night. The only comment I see is they may wish, and I may wish, that you actually take the dumpster back behind the sidewalk, so it's at least not out in front of this building, so it's back as far as that building there, because they're going to want some sort of screening or
Yeah, not a problem.
landscaping around it.
Yeah.
So.
I'm willing to do those things.
Okay. Is there anything, commentary from the South Side residents, since I see you guys there? No? Okay, just wondering.
They have all the parking?
It did on the previous plan.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah, that
actually looks like
was
it has 2 spots more this time, so.
It'll be
Yeah.
a total of 12 rooms, that means.
There's 12 parking spaces shown.
And there's some underneath here,
The
too.
garage.
Oh,
There was
that's
some
right.
under the-
So there's actually a few
There's 14 with 12 residents.
Yeah.
14 spots for 12 residents. And that's using current curb cuts, the existing parking lot.
And 2 of those, of course, are really garage parking.
Exactly.
Right, the front Hickory Street apartments, or buildings. And if I remember, you're pretty much keeping the same concrete or asphalt, whatever that parking lot
It's
is, that's
concrete.
pretty much the same footprint?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, this is concrete, yeah. I guess to summarize, as far as the footprint, if we go back 15 years when there were houses and apartment over a garage and all that, we're pretty much within, I think it was about 500 square feet difference. So really not covering much more at all, I mean, and putting back just new structures.
Okay.
Well, if there's no other concerns or questions, I would like to put forward a motion to approve or recommend the PUD to the City Council with the condition that he meets the Shade Tree Commission's recommendations. I don't think there's anything outstanding, but I probably would want to have the City Engineer's Office do a review of the new plans, just to make sure they're satisfied.
Agreed.
So those 2 conditions. Any other condition?
I think the discussion of trying to move the dumpster back, but that was
Yeah.
that was verbal.
Okay.
And I'll second it.
Okay.
If you have a second.
All those in favor, or any further discussion before making a vote?
I just wanted a clarification. Andy reviewed these July 15th, but these plans were just submitted today?
Yes, and the plans were submitted in response to Andy's review, so they're meant to address all of those outstanding issues. And I believe that,
So the ones that are not crossed off
Yeah.
are still outstanding?
Yeah, or those
Right.
are the ones that hopefully are met.
those are the ones that were addressed in this site plan.
And it appears for the most part they are, so.
And I forwarded a copy of these plans to Andy this morning.
Okay.
He's been out in the field today, but I don't believe there's any issues, but we should have Andy double check just to confirm that as part of the recommendation for an approval if you want to move. Pending a Public Works satisfactory review.
All right, anything else, Paula?
No issues other than, we have a fire hydrant from the fire chief. Nothing from police, although usually they identify lighting. Safe lighting for your residents. Safe
Yeah,
lighting.
that again was addressed, I think, at the public hearing is when we had the staff review, which included the initial engineer's review of the project.
Okay.
All right, if that's the case, all those in favor of recommending the plan unit development for Hickory Street with the conditions that Shade Tree Commission recommendation is met, as well as the City Public Works Department is satisfied with their outstanding conditions, take a look at the dumpster and just go back and make sure the fire hydrant issue was resolved with the fire chief.
There is to be one, but it's my understanding that that would be drawn in with the engineering drawings of the water line.
Okay, then that's it.
And that's one that Andy
Okay.
has taken on.
So that would be with the city public
Right.
works. So yeah, take that one off and just the city public works review. All those in favor? Any opposition? All right. Any further discussion? No. Thank you, Kevin. It's
Thank you.
Pleasure.
I guess we may not see each other for a while.
You can.
Not for long.
The next case on our agenda is number 1105. The property owner is Marie Morrison. It is a lot split on, let me get the right street, Houseman Road.
Hashman, I think it's Hashman.
Not you yet.
Is that correct?
You're coming first.
Hashman, my apologies.
Just before the folks in question or the requesters speak, this is a property, it's in the 3-mile zone, just within it off of Peach Ridge. Both of the newly created lots would be over 5 acres. The only reason the Planning Commission has to review this is because they need a variance for an easement of access, which is a variance from the subdivision regulations. Subdivision variances can only be awarded by City Council, but in order for that to be awarded by council, it does have to go through the Planning Commission. If both of the newly created lots had road frontage, the city would not be involved whatsoever since they're both greater than 5 acres. It is my understanding that the northernmost portion that will be created is going to be purchased by Doug Mann. Mr. Mann is here, Dr. Mann is here today. He has every intention of deed restricting that piece of land with a conservation easement, I believe. And the southernmost portion of the newly created lots is going to be purchased by the Athens Conservancy. They need the easement of access, and that the Athens Conservancy, just based on their mission as an organization, they have no intention of developing either, none of the new property owners has any intention of developing this property, is my understanding, but I'll let them speak on that, so.
All right, well, so it does appear that Hashman Road sort of abruptly ends about a third of the way through the 8.3 parcel that's being proposed to be split, correct?
Mm-hmm. I think I made a note, let's see, about 370 feet down the road's what I scaled it, on coming into that the remaining property that'll be going to Dr. Mann.
Okay, I see it there.
And if you look on this survey, Doug Mann owns the parcel to the immediate west.
Okay.
So he'll be buying the 8.315 acres. He'll be holding it, I assume, continuously and contiguously, and awarding a easement to the Athens Conservancy to access the southernmost portion, which would be about 40,
Almost 50 acres.
almost 50 acres of remaining land to the Athens Conservancy.
Okay. What,
Okay, so this actually splitting of parcel is landlocking, in theory, the 49-acre
Yes,
parcel,
correct.
which the Athens Conservancy is considering buying or purchasing. All right, putting it, okay.
And then there's a 30-foot wide easement, as you can see drawn on the survey. That access point pretty much exists right now. I believe it's an old road, logging road or something. And that was the 30-foot wide easement was a recommendation from the county planning office. Bob Eichenberg recommended that.
So it's the curving, L2, L3, L4 is the...
Yes, that's
Okay, that's the
yes.
center line.
That's
Yeah.
center.
no, so it's an I see, okay.
And this abuts State of Ohio Department of Natural Research, so that must be Strauss Run?
Strauss Run.
Okay. It's in the back here. It's fairly fresh, 12 days old.
And on the last page, just to point out, there's an email discussion between me and Chuck Hammer from the Health Department. The Health Department generally doesn't weigh in on any subdivision for septic issues if all newly created lots are greater than 5 acres. I did ask Mr. Hammer just to double check for me, and there's a discussion here, but he says that he has no issues with this. There's suitability for septic if that were to ever come, but I would not expect that to come up.
Paul, who did you say Paul Eichenberg had suggested this easement?
Bob Eichenberg suggested that it be 30 feet wide. Yeah, the original question from the applicants was could they just do a 20-foot wide easement?
Right.
Bob suggested 30 feet, which is the standard.
Okay.
Just so that they don't have to ask for 2 variances, one for the easement and then another for a shorter, smaller easement than narrower than is typically awarded, so.
Okay.
Again, the intention, it's not a development one. Is this with Clean Ohio money, or is that the intention?
No, it isn't.
It isn't?
In fact, the reason that we have to divide it to do this is that we're going to have to take a bank loan out to buy it, and we can't afford a loan to buy the entire 8 acres. So it's very fortunate that Doug is willing to buy the 8 acres that's immediately adjoining his land, and we can afford the remaining 29.5 acres.
Okay.
I feel like continuous and contiguous language has to be in there, but that's more going to...
Well, for
what we
Mr. Mann's,
did with Mr. Mann.
it doesn't have to be, though, because he has the
He
frontage.
has road frontage, so he doesn't have to, yeah.
So it could be a standalone
Yeah.
parcel.
Yeah, it is. It's really
Because,
just
yeah,
for the-
and it's over 5 acres.
Yeah.
And this is an existing, the easements itself, I understand, is going to be widened, but the path itself, is that an existing pathway, or that's what I'm not...
Looking at that also map, it looks like there's something there. but
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
a little
was
bit further
saying,
over to
too.
the west than I think. Of course, we're just looking at the little piece right there. I mean,
Right.
it's what gets confusing, this is the big triangle, and this is a
Yeah.
subset of the portions of it.
It says this being the surface only, how do you protect the land, mineral rights, as it were? This day of
problem, but it's a problem with every nature preserve and a lot of state land as well. You can't, basically. But you do your best you can to preserve it.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not quite grasping what the placement of the
It is, I
easement.
think, too.
I think it is this...
Is that what we
Yeah, I
think we're
that's
saying?
what we're looking
Yeah,
at in
it's
this
in the
ortho
author-
there.
So it is an existing
Okay,
something
great.
path, okay.
I'd have to look at the Concord maps to be sure, but...
Is that right, Doug?
The description of the easement's in there too, Nicholas. With
What
all
was
the-
that?
All the different calls for the description of the easement.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
It was
you can't see
overly,
on this.
And it's been pinned, has it not?
oh, dirt drive, okay, so it is a dirt drive.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just that.
There's pins on the site.
Okay. As long as, I don't have any concern as long as Mr. Mann is, going to be deeding and perpetually allowing that easement.
Yes,
That's,
yes. That would be part of the purchase agreement, that
Okay.
there would be a conservation, not just a deed restriction, but an actual conservation easement that the Conservancy will hold.
Okay.
And we're working through the details of that right now, and I don't foresee any difficulties
Okay.
getting that wrapped up. I'm happy to be doing this as a conservation project.
okay. I've unfortunately seen legal precedent where people go back on their easement, and so, most of the time it isn't. I mean, I think working it out now is what's important, so, ahead of the time. Other questions, comments from commissioners?
Have you had any experiences, I noticed on the letter at the back from Charles Hammer, as far as tire piles, illegal dumps, have they ever had any experience with people doing any of that up there?
The person to ask would be Mimi.
No, it's just pristine, beautiful property. No junk of any sort there.
Quick question to Paul for clarification. So we approved this lot split. Where does it go after this?
We recommend.
We recommend, yeah.
But
What we're really doing is recommending the variance.
the variance?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes to council, and it should be on the agenda for Monday's council meeting.
Okay, probably a committee meeting and plan development at 7, and then
Right.
actual reading of it.
The applicants are trying to expedite this process. They're scheduled to have a closing on the sale for the middle of August, ideally.
Okay.
And with council on recess through August, council's agreed to meet on Monday to try to help them out with this as well.
Yeah,
I can't guarantee they'll award it, but it's on the agenda for council.
Okay.
I move recommending approval to City Council with a variance for the access easement.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? None? Okay, all those in favor of approving or recommending the variance to City Council to the residual lot, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, any further
Is that
discussion?
correct language? That bothered me too.
I think so.
Okay.
Recommend approval of the lot split with a variance for easement of access, I think is what you said.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Okay, so that recommendation has to get to council before Monday.
We can maybe forward this to Bern. I don't know if that's the first one we've done too, like that. I'd take the regular transfer permit and maybe the sign off on it. Paul, you would have to do that, and then we'd forward that with the packet up to Debbie.
Okay.
Might be the easiest way to do it, or unless Char's got a better idea.
Char and I, Debbie Walker sent Charlene and I an email this morning stating that if the planning commission were to recommend approval, that she needs to we need to forward everything to her by tomorrow. So Charlene and I will work on it.
I've got it ready to go.
Okay.
Just to get it going.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that takes care of our cases for the day.